So you've come into some money, maybe a lot of money. I mean, it's a great problem to have, right? But with that good fortune comes this huge, kind of paralyzing question. What's the best way to invest it? Do you just jump in all at once? Or do you ease into it bit by bit? That's exactly what we're going to unpack.
Maybe it was that bonus you worked so hard for, or you finally sold a property, or perhaps it's an inheritance. Whatever the reason, you're now looking at this chunk of cash and you're thinking, okay, I need to put this to work. The real question isn't if you should invest, it's how.
And that how? Well, it really boils down to two main camps, two big ideas. Option one, you go for it. You invest the whole shebang in one shot. Or option two, you play it a bit more cautiously, dipping your toes in, feeding it into the market little by little over time. This is the big debate, the core question we're tackling today.
All right, so let's get into it. The situation seems pretty straightforward on the surface. You've got a lump sum ready to go. But don't be fooled. The path you pick from here can make a huge difference.
And this really gets to the heart of why this decision is so tough. I love this quote from the legendary trader Richard Dennis. You must expect the unexpected in the stock market. Be ready for the extremes. It's that fear, right? The fear of the unexpected, of making a move at the absolute worst possible moment. That's what keeps people up at night.
Okay, so to really figure this out, we have to look at the two strategies head to head. They've got official names, and believe me, they take completely different approaches to dealing with all that market craziness.
First up, you've got lump sum investing. And yeah, it's pretty much what it sounds like. You take all that cash, every last penny, and bam, you invest it all in one go. It's bold, it's decisive, and it means your money is in the game, working for you right from day one.
Now, the other strategy is called dollar cost averaging, or DCA for short. And this is the total opposite approach. Instead of one big move, you chop up that lump sum into smaller, bite-sized pieces. Then you invest those pieces on a regular schedule, like, say, every month for the next year. It's way more gradual, very systematic.
All right, so before we talk about gut feelings and fear and all that messy human stuff, let's just look at the numbers, the cold, hard data. What does history actually tell us about which of these two strategies comes out on top? This is the logical side of the coin.
And look, we're not just pulling this out of thin air. Some of the biggest names in finance like Vanguard have dug into this, and I mean really dug in. They've analyzed decades of market data from all over the world, the US, the UK, Australia, and run the numbers on thousands and thousands of different time periods.
So after all that number crunching, what's the big reveal? If you had to put your money on it, which strategy actually wins more often? What do you think?
Okay, the data is pretty clear on this one. Lump sum investing wins. And honestly, it's not even a close call. The studies show that going all in right away beats the slow and steady approach about 2/3 of the time, roughly 68%. And the reason why is actually super simple. Over the long haul, markets tend to go up. So the longer your money is fully in the market, the more time it has to catch those upward trends.
And they even figured out how much better it does. On average, over a single year, the lump sum strategy outperforms dollar cost averaging by about 2.2%. Now, 2.2% might not sound like a life-changing number, but when you're talking about a really big sum of money, trust me, that adds up fast. So, from a purely statistical standpoint, the case is closed. Lump sum is the way to go.
But, and this is a really, really big but, we're not robots, are we? Investing isn't just about spreadsheets and averages, it's about human psychology. And when it comes to money, the biggest, loudest emotion in the room is almost always fear. So, let's switch gears. Let's talk about the heart, not just the head.
And this says it all, doesn't it? It's that little voice of doubt in the back of your mind that just won't shut up. It's saying, yeah, 68% of the time, I get it. But what if I'm in the other 32%? What if my luck is so bad that I invest every single dollar I have the day before the market completely tanks?
And you know what? That's a totally fair question. It's a valid fear. Because at the end of the day, you don't get to live through the average market. You live through your market, your own specific timeline. And your results are going to depend entirely on when you start and, just as importantly, how you react when things get rocky.
So here we are, right back at that central conflict. It's a classic battle, your logical brain versus your emotional heart. Your brain is looking at all that data we just saw and it's screaming, go for it, the odds are in our favor. But your heart, your gut, it's feeling that risk and it's whispering, whoa, let's not be too hasty here, let's slow down.
And this is exactly what your heart is terrified of. Just picture it. You finally pull the trigger. You invest everything.
And then the next month, the market just collapses. A 40% drop. Looking at your account and seeing that massive, massive loss, well, for a lot of people, that's just unbearable. It's what causes them to make the worst mistake in investing. They panic, sell everything at the very bottom, and turn a temporary paper loss into a very real permanent one.
So, this brings us to the most important part of this whole conversation. We've looked at the data, we've felt the emotion. Now, how in the world do you pick the right strategy for you?
Okay, let's just boil it all down. On paper, the numbers say go with the lump sum. It's more profitable most of the time. Simple as that. But emotionally, it's riskier. You have to be prepared for that worst-case scenario. Now, dollar cost averaging, it's like an insurance policy for your emotions. It might not give you the absolute best return on average, but it takes away the stress of getting the timing perfectly right. It helps you ride out the bumps. And really, that's the key takeaway here. The absolute best strategy is the one that lets you sleep at night. It's the one you can stick with, through thick and thin, without hitting the panic button.
So, when all is said and done, it comes down to a really personal question. Who's driving your financial decisions? Is it your head, trusting the data, ready to stomach the risk for a potentially higher reward? Or is it your heart, prioritizing your peace of mind and taking a slower, steadier path? It's your money, and only you can decide who gets the final say.